In a matchup where we have 4 players who have attended more than 20 majors, Ramses alone accounting for 5 major wins, this is kind of a star-studded matchup despite neither of these teams really being the favorite for the tournament just yet, Avery. We've got 9 Pandas on one side, Shopify on the other, and they're just giving them the Deusa, just like teams before them. Seems like a bold strategy.
The Deusa? They gave him the first pick Storm. It's back, baby.
That is more important.
Just when you thought it was out,
True.
Boba pulls it back in. We're seeing if Abed can get some sick pulls this game. Honestly, I'm more surprised that Shopify gave him that last pick Faces Void. Because if I'm looking at 9 Pandas this tournament, I feel like the one hero Ramses wants on that last pick to deal with the Medusa lineup is the Faces Void. Especially when you have Darkseer, who can buff him up in the fights. It's an old school combo that goes very deep in terms of scale. And you have the Skyroth mage that you still want to enable. Like, if this game goes late, I can see them bursting Medusa in a chrono. That's what happened in that other game. You get to late stage Faces Void with Midas, Mjolnir, MKB, BKB, Scotty. You will kill Deusa in chrono with this lineup. It's not impossible, and you don't have save for it if you're Shopify. Like, I feel like this Void should have been banned over Terrorblade. We'll see if it comes back to bite him. The upside here for Shopify is Faces Void can be very slow in this meta. Your farm rate is definitely lower than Medusa's, and you have Enchantress at Coddle plus this Tide, who can, in theory, punish Faces Void a lot in this early game, especially if that Enchantress destroys the offlane Darkseer's momentum. So maybe just back to what Shopify's strengths are, which is if they get a good laning phase here, this is going to feel like a clunky lineup for 9 Pandas.
Yeah, I mean, you called it very early on, Roger. Jeez, that was a lot of blood grenades. All right, that's going to be a fast first blood given over to Arteezy. Tried to go for a tri-lane versus tri-lane, but Roger getting blasted out of position there by Crit and then having the blood grenades rain down on him. Pretty rough timing there, but you called the Faceless Void from the opener. And as you said, this is something that 9 Pandas did run against PSG LGD. So presumably that also means Shopify knew that it was going to be a Faceless Void coming. So we're going to see whether or not what you're talking about is, okay, if we know the Faceless Void is coming, let's see how they're trying to exploit it.
They just have faith in the early game execution here. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I do think Faceless Void he's an annoying late game for their lineup if they get there. It's just a question of, everything's a give and take at Dota. What would you rather play versus? Stronger early game, stronger late game, whatever it is. The thing is, if you're looking at 9 Pandas as well in this tournament, conceptually, I feel like they're a late game oriented team. They've been playing Dooms, they've been playing Alchemist, they've been playing Faceless Void. They are playing to win late game. This is not a team, we're just going to run you over. They don't care. They draft and play to win in those late game scenarios. That's why I feel like the Void does kind of work for them. Especially if your early game goes well. You're just taking it to Saberlight. Any more bashes? Oh, he doesn't have bash. Time dilation.
Grid is actually going to be the one to die first, and I think Antares could probably pick up a second kill at Saberlight. Double kill for him. Okay, so notable, you were talking about them, potentially winning the laning phase here for Shopify. But this is a Shopify that has looked weaker on the laning phase than I've probably ever seen them.
Probably just because it's so chaotic.
Yeah, I think so. This new patch, I think there are no guarantees about winning laning phases right now.
That might be true. I still think they're incredibly strong in the lanes, but that is a double kill that maybe should not have happened here. So I think Saberlight was really happy in the one-on-one too. Like, Tidehunter is one of those offlaners who normally crushes melee heroes in a one-on-one. So bringing 2 heroes down here and then getting the return off the Skyroth mage, who's now going to have a really fast level 3. Going to ferry out a bunch of mangles on top of that as well. Bottom lane looking nice for 9 Pandas as top is not going that well, but I mean, this is the lane you don't expect to snowball early.
Yeah, for sure. With the Darkseer pretty well countered by being matched up against a, first of all, range carry, but also a hero that abuses melee heroes pretty well with the Mystic Snake. And then on top of that, maybe the biggest factor of all, Enchantress with both a Dispel and another hero that can abuse melee heroes pretty well.
If you get Equilibrium here, though, I think you're pretty happy. And
for sure.
I mean, Miro just rushed Ring of Health. So he's not too sad, all things considered, on this lane. Just given the Equilibrium, the camps are blocked. Kind of worked out in the long run here. And I do think Darkseer Nyx is one of those lanes where even if it's going a little rough, you can still get the turnaround kill on a support at any point with the level 3 back Impale. This lane is probably the strongest Darkseer lane in terms of that surprise kill factor, I would say.
Yeah. It just requires a little bit of a mispositioning. We'll see if that ever happens. We'll see whether or not we ever bring up some sentries to unblock those camps, because with the Mystic Snake spam, they're just going to be constantly pushing it into the tower, potentially.
I mean, Abed's doing really well mid.
Yeah, he got a pullback. Saberlight, he accidentally dipped into tower range there for a second, and Abed managed to pull Kiyotaka into tower range as well, and I think it's netted him a decent little advantage,
He's
both in
10
regen
CS.
and CS.
And this is a matchup I feel like Tiny's been favored in forever.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see Abed just pull this far ahead. I also feel like this is the one matchup that 9Pandas want to win as hard as possible in terms of you're picking the Tiny to deal with this storm. That means deal with them in the lane and the early game and the mid game and maybe the late game. So if you're behind, who are you playing through to pick up the slack versus a lineup that, like, you're going to have a deuce of tide timing. They're going to be trying to contest Roshan's. They're going to be trying to take those 5-5s. If your Tiny can't keep some map momentum off with pickoffs, he's another big shell carrier for 9Pandas as well. Like, it's another game I feel like Kiyotaka needs to pop off.
Yeah, I mean, him and Tars, right? Like, if you can get the levels on the Skywrath Mage and you get a fast Blink Dagger on the Tiny, you're running around together, killing things. Anything that you do your combo on, it's 100% dead, I have to imagine. Maybe even the Dusa included.
It's a lot of burst damage.
Yeah.
Cannot underestimate Ancient Seal here on a lot of these heroes. A lot of blood grenades on this top lane. God damn.
Yeah, seriously. Putting their body on the line. Roger gonna go for the pull here. And Fly will try and punish him as much as possible. So we've got a brief pause here.
Mic broken. Was it Abed's mic? How would they know if Abed's mic's broken? He doesn't talk. Maybe they assumed it was. He's like, no, it's working, guys. Oh, okay. Keep playing.
What is it about mid lane? Maybe it's in part mid laners are always or tend to be quiet like that. Maybe because that's the only role you can be quiet like that. I feel like every other role you have to be pretty good about communication. Nice blast back in there from Crit. Is Kiyotaka might still die. See whether or not Abed wants to make that commitment. He does. Makes a long jump into tower range. Got to be careful with the rotations coming in now. So Sports jumps just ahead of that Impale, and Roger actually get the pullback in with the Hurricane use there from Fly, and Abed pulls him back in again to his doom. 2-2 now, with Shopify being able to take an early lead thanks to a nice rotation.
Right place, right time. That is the name of the support game, and Abed's going to get rewarded with an Arcane Rune here.
Oh, that Arcane Rune, he's going to put it to use. He's going to go for the Roger kill. Spike Carapace, level 1. It's a momentary pause for Abed, who's currently rampaging through this mid lane, looking to be able to pick up a third kill. Plenty of mana to do it, too. Should be able to get it, as Kiyotaka cannot stop Abed at this point. Already destroying this game and putting Shopify in a very good spot for the series opener.
Coddle Storm. It punishes you really hard the second you give any type of opening. Abed's just going for the full 4-man wipe here.
He really is.
Why not? He's going to get it.
He's going to get the pullback as the surge goes out.
God damn.
Ooh.
Show some mercy. They're not even going to pass him a healing Lotus.
Oh, the 7-minute experience rune. Okay, the Wisdom rune is going to be taken by Roger, but now he's going to die again. Spike Carapace cannot limp back to his tier 2 tower.
I mean, that does kind of worth that. I feel like you got to get that Wisdom rune. Cannot let it go here.
But they're going to lose their offlane tower so early here.
This is an insanely valuable sequence of events for Shopify. What an Arcane Rune usage. 4 kills in a tower.
Yeah.
Actually, 5 kills. Killed Roger twice.
Yeah, that's, I'm not sure if I've ever seen so much value out of an early rune like that.
I don't think you can ask for anything more.
Now, I wonder what you do if there's any world where if you're Arteezy, right? Medusa, good hero for farming Ancient.
I heckin' love Arteezy.
If you stay in that safe lane area, now that the tower's gone, you could invade and take their Ancients away, start farming that, as long as you have the supports behind you.
I think it's a little risky this early in the game, but we have seen it on things like the Io Bristle.
Yeah.
We're strong enough to invade. In theory, it's doable when you have Enchantress. She can scout, she can frontline for you. Though I think Arteezy, he's going to have his choice of whatever camps he wants this game, because this lead is going to be difficult to overcome. Now you're basically just trying to get to Kiyotaka Blink as fast as possible to enable Antares in the game with the Skywrath damage to take you into these mid-game fights.
Is so unlucky, man. Double Warpine Raider Those boys are so tanky, man. They're so annoying to kill. You always need like an extra round of nukes to be able to finish them off.
Gotta respect the greatest of all neutral creeps.
Yeah.
Barry's trinket on top of it. This is a max Chakra build, by the way. So Crit is just playing to pump the mana into the first pick Storm.
I mean, as he should, right? Storm Spirit, Medusa.
Oh, absolutely. It's already paid off so much in this game. Even the level 2 Chakra for all of those kills, they're just freebies. Now you're looking for Earn Charges too. Going to connect the Tide behind. Ravage is available if he wants to skill it. Kiyotaka, you have 1500 HP.
Toss back the Tide Hunter. Does manage to get the 2-man avalanche. A lot of heroes are coming in here. Ramses is going to show up. He's got his Chronosphere. Don't think they need it for the Saberlight kill. That's going to be easy to collect. So Ramses showing up in time to be able to save his team as they were kind of getting run over. I mean, literally every other player on the team had died to Abed Storm Spirit.
It's a good rotation. You need to shut down some of the momentum Shopify are giving. Ramses can transition straight into that offlane and trade farm with where Miro was, and now he gets a bit of a nicer place to play on the map. Just need to get levels on these supports right now, and those are the fights where you're going to have to do it, as well as keeping your mid tower up. This mid tower took a lot of damage in those early engagements. Like, it's almost dead. If that move works, you're just looking at 2 dead tier 1s here with a Storm Spirit Coddle. They're going to utilize the space really well. That's devastating. So these group up plays are the name of the game for 9Pandas. Looking for 10-minute rune. It's a regen.
The perfect rune for Abed after getting an arcane rune. They do get the pick off on Fly on the other side, but worthwhile trade, I would say, for Shopify, as long as that regen rune does anything of consequence.
I mean, I'm willing to trade my life for an Abed rune any day.
Mm-hmm.
Carry me, brother.
And Kiyotaka is still trying to work towards that Blink Dagger. Skywrath Mage still not level 6 either, so 9Pandas, they still need a minute or two before they can come online with some of their own aggression. Right now, it's just Chronosphere. That's the only threat in the game right now. And Ramses is going to be going for that fast Midas, like I believe he did last time.
Regen room to farm the Ancients. Arteezy's a bit sad he doesn't get these, but you know, share the wealth, distribute it around.
Yeah, he's had enough.
That's good teamwork.
Actually, Ramses, he did not go Midas last time. He went Maelstrom and then we went straight Mjolnir. He ended Mjolnir by 19 minutes.
Interesting.
So this game, maybe feeling it's a little bit different scenario. May have to focus a little bit more on the long haul.
I mean, I think Midas is the correct play here because what's your timing to win? I feel like it's 55 minutes or something. I mean that sincerely. This is a game you want to go really late in.
That never sounds like a great strategy. Like, if from the get-go you're like, our timing to win is 55 minutes, guys, I don't have a whole lot of faith in that draft.
I have faith.
Hey, I love this. Look at him. He's hiding his Blink Dagger. So they're going to grab it right now. Go for the smoke. Oh, we don't have level 6 on Antares.
We also don't have smokes.
Well, then I guess we're not smoking then, huh?
Oh, the Hadouken. Dodged.
Trying to bait out somebody, perhaps. I'm going to go for the double damage at bottom. Ooh, he grabbed it just before him. And now, Abed gets hit by a combo. Unfortunately, no other disables there in time.
Imagine you had Ancient Seal there.
Yeah, does he not have it?
He does. It's just was not playing on that rune. Maybe looking to top as well. I mean, this is the part of the game where it should be scary for Abed to go in these fights.
Nice toss back. This kill is not the easiest to get, but a whole lot easier when you finally have Mystic Flare. So, every minute, 9Pandas can get a pick off somewhere around the map.
This is how they like to play. Just play defensive, play for the late game, defend your towers. Make sure Shopify do not have more space than you to farm out the map. And you're going to be pretty happy just trading net worth here because of the early start Shopify had. Of course, there is the looming Medusa threat. That is there, but if you're 9Pandas, in theory, you've got what you want to answer the hero. So it's just a question of can you execute when that time comes.
Yeah.
Right now, you got to slow down this man right here. He's the one causing you problems. If you can get 1 or 2 big storm kills here with this tiny blink, with a early Ancient Seal, level 3 already, this is what this smoke is designed to do, but they're just going to find Enchantress. Nice little Enchantress.
Don't need Mystic Flare for that kill. That is a freebie. Meanwhile, they had used the scan to spawn out where Arteezy was farming.
Roger's lurking on him.
And he is, but they're going for the kill on Ramses, so there's going to be no firepower behind that Nyx assassin. In fact, Ramses is going to have to use the Chronosphere to save himself. Now, they do have the wall on crit, so should be able to get this one kill as Abed is forced to be able to retreat here. He's got plenty of mana, so should be okay.
One does not simply gank Ramses.
Oh, we got him with the combo! Oh no, Abed. He's been playing a little bit loose and fast with the rules here. Been very aggressively jumping around, and finally will pay the price for it.
I mean, this is just a beautiful sequence for 9 Pandas. You're turning around that smoke kill. He TP's mid with the storm, so he's not going to have TP when he's up, and you get that connection with the tiny Skywrath. While Ramses just gets the farm top, take a tier 1, put the Midas to use. I feel like 9 Pandas are very comfortable in this game, despite playing against the all-knowing god Medusa. They are not afraid, and they feel very patient, I must say. Which is, I think, the position you want to be in, even if it's not true.
You gotta feel like it's okay.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna beat this hero.
No pressure, sure.
You have to feel like you're gonna beat a late game, because I don't think you can out-tempo Medusa. I don't think anybody has shown that level of understanding of how to accelerate this patch yet, so it's gotta be in the late game.
Gonna go for Kiyotaka. Ignore Roger for now. This Tiny is becoming a menace, and they've got to be able to put it down, slow him down as much as possible, and they should get it pretty easily here. In fact, Saberlight shows up. After all that work that Abed put in, with the help of Crit, Saberlight shows up to take the last hit.
It's a bit of an aggressive play for support. Gonna invade the enemy triangle here. Someone's gonna pay the price usually. Just a question of who. That's a lot of momentum loss for Kiyotaka, who was getting up there, level 11 already. Outpacing Abed, who had that fast start. Now they're going to look for the return on Ramses. Might have stayed a little too long. Can he fog him?
They're going to spot him now. They can chase after him here. Miro is here to be able to help out, but the burst damage may be a bit too much. Vacuum pull back, but right before the jump away. Gets blasted over the side. They're trying to bring back Miro, but they've lost a bit of their damage. Roger's going to keep pace with them, and they got to be careful on Arteezy especially, or maybe Abed.
I don't think this is close enough
This
damage.
is going to be a very hard kill, Roger. I don't know why you thought you had the damage there, sir.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, Kiyotaka comes in from behind, though. Now, he might have just given up his life to get that kill, as he is surrounded by 4 Shopify heroes. He would have to pull off some sort of amazing avalanche toss back. I don't think it's going to happen.
Now, is that worth it?
To kill Abed, I mean, he did take a lot of time to die, so there was a decent amount of farming time for Ramses.
I mean, if you're 9 Pandas, in theory, you're okay trading, as long as Faceless Void's getting farmed.
Sure.
And if you believe Faceless Void beats Medusa late game. Do you believe?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I don't believe in you. So basically, that means Faceless Void's gonna win. You also have to make this period strike, where like Abed's still killable with all your disable, because that might not be true forever. Then it's a question of how much is Tiny gonna scale in this game. I feel like Tiny has had some success at this tournament, but not what he was having the previous patch.
Middle tower.
You know, well,
Roger getting some information.
He's just gonna
Kiyotaka's
throw him.
around. They've got the Chronosphere Mystic Flare combo. Now, that was not amazing damage, but the Nyx Assassin taking away all the mana onto the Medusa, and a
What a
beautiful
back.
vacuum. What a combo. Kiyotaka, one more toss for the air. Crit almost dying. Will die to the illusions here. Looks like Antari's going to be caught up, though. How did they do so much work there, but still not enough to be able to get the kills?
Just nothing there to clean him up. Ramses has to get out, and I can't see the Mystic Flares because, I mean, nobody can see them, but did it even
Oh, you
do
got the
anything?
bug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it even do anything there?
It was doing hardly... Yeah,
only did
it was doing
330
absolutely
damage.
nothing to the Medusa, it felt
Yeah,
like.
that did not impress me, so...
But, I mean, the Nyx did a ton. Took away 50% of his mana, left him with pretty much nothing, but then he got the chakra. So
that's been the story of the tournament, though. Like, you can remove Medusa's mana. Yeah, this is just... Is this even
yeah,
spell?
what is this?
What is this abomination against the game? Like, that's supposed to be your highest single target damage hold in the game, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice spell. Meanwhile, I have passive from start of game. Dumbass. Should have played around my mana shell.
Who wins? Best single target ultimate, pick it up at level 6, or free level 1 ability.
Yeah, that was an 800 damage nuke, by the way. Nice one there. I mean, on Taurus, you just got to step up, man. I don't know. Yeah. You know, just cast your ult better.
I mean, isn't part of the problem is that Ancient Shield, I don't think it does anything to the mana shield, right? In the fact that I don't think it actually amps up the damage. So that is a significant loss if it works that way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Scotty is almost done for Artur. He's got the double orbs right now.
It's a lot of tankiness. It is a lot to punch through. At this point in the game is where Dusa is just the scariest. Like, I feel the second, third item. I mean, you can always go late with this hero. She's still going to be terrifying, but I feel like this is really where it's just so hard to fight this hero because the EHP ramp is absurd compared to most damage ramps right now.
I mean, at this point in the game, you're definitely revisiting the conversation. So we're definitely good pushing us to 55 minutes, right, guys?
It's the 55-minute timing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's there.
That was just a little poke. We weren't really trying to win that fight.
I mean, it might be a 60-minute timing now. I think it got pushed back a little bit, but
oh, no, Miro's going to be caught here. Trying to surge away. Abed should be able to grab him. But do they have the damage? Nice vacuum into the wall. But once again, lacking a little bit on the damage follow-up. Avalanche had already been used, so.
I mean, that is another combo Pandas can go for. You get Ags, crit on Tiny, and you get big Vax. Shopify are kind of giving them to you here.
Yeah,
the fights are being played.
Chronosphere sets it up as well.
That's a blink on Saberlight. They want to use Ravage.
Okay.
You get to use Ravage.
Really trying to put this Tide in his place, and they'll get him killed for sure, but it means Chronosphere is now on cooldown. They're spotting Roger. You really don't want to get hit by that. There goes a bunch of his mana. Not enough for...
You need to refresh your Nyx cap.
Yeah, I mean,
the
you need it. You need it real
It's
bad.
coming. Imagine he gets a refresher shard later. Pop, pop. You gone. Double tapped. Uncounterable.
Until Chakra Magic comes in.
Almost uncounterable. That's why Roger's saving up all these Lotuses, too. It's going for the block of cheese. It's all about the late game preparation here.
I thought you were saying he was taking the Lotuses away because the Lotuses are another huge buff to Medusa.
Well, I mean, that too.
All right, we're going to have some Tormentor action here, so let's see who gets it. The Nyx Assassin. Okay.
That's not a bad one. Like, this shard's pretty good. Especially when you're playing with super high single target magical bursts like Skywrath and Tiny.
Yeah.
It's a significant amp. And just the bonus move speed on the map. Being able to catch people with a Vendetta is an issue with a lot of the new space. It definitely helps you do it. That's a good shard. Scotty is finished for Arteezy. You, of course, have Drum on Fly, Pipe on Saberlight, and the buffs from Crit in terms of the mana, plus Aggressive Vessel here. So they are ready for the 5-on-5 brawl. They just want to find anything into Roshan right now. And would not put early high ground attempts out of the window here, especially if they can keep manning up the Medusa.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these Medusas feel very comfortable with sieging that high ground. Nice and early. They got the heroes behind them. Hitting with the Impale. Might be able to get the combo off here from Kiyotaka. That's going to do some damage to Abed. They got him with the silence as well. The damage is coming in, and it's just enough. The wall slowed him down, and they kicked away all of his mana. Roger is going to be hit by the Gush here. I mean, they're trying to make that play without Arteezy. Now that Arteezy's here, 9 Panda is a lot less likely to take that engagement.
Just a very aggressive jump from Abed.
Yeah. Twice now he's been perhaps a bit overly aggressive.
Yeah, not respecting the punish that come out when you don't see the heroes. I mean, he's definitely not expecting them all to be behind that tree line, but hey, they are. They get the punish. And remember, every time you get this punish, Ramses is lurking in the shadows, farming the camps, farming the waves, putting the Midas to work. Like, he is not far behind in this game. And you got to remember, this is a shelled up Void. And his Chrono can set up for a lot. It can set up for Skywrath in the late game. It can set up for Tiny Ags. The potential's looming. It probably sounds like I'm biased at this point, but I think we all just want to see Medusa lose. Or
Yeah,
at least bleed.
Well, Owen and Fogg try that with the axe earlier. It did not work out in the end.
I think they've got a decent shot. Decent shot at going late game here. That said, there's a lot in the tank that can be built for Shopify, especially in terms of Tidehunter ores if they can continue to find that farm. And I mean, late game Abed Storm. We have seen him win a lot of games just off axe pulls alone. Like, you get multi-pulled into a Ravage Stone Gaze.
Some would say that nostalgia might be what has motivated so many more Storm picks.
Oh, is that what's doing it? Is that what Bulba told you? I gotta first pick the Storm. It's nostalgia.
I mean, I'm just saying, when you feel good about a hero, because, you know, you had certain key victories in your past, you probably keep going back to it.
So you feel
I mean, I was watching S4 Centaur before this tournament, so.
I get that, but I mean, can you feel good about a hero for, it's been like 6 years now.
Maybe this is the start of another six-year run.
Oh, God, no. We're back to the start of the Storm cycle.
Storm Spirit wins the Berlin Major. Shopify. Oh, boy.
Dangerous thoughts.
Hey, what do you think about this? Nullifier?
For who?
What's the concept here?
He wants to purge the shells, purge the Dark Seer interaction. Be obnoxious in the engagement.
Is that really it?
I guess so. Is that high value?
I mean, like, flat damage is pretty decent on Dusa, but I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, this does not seem like a third item nullifier game.
Is there something we're missing?
Don't think so. I mean,
Roger.
There's a Solar Crest, there's Pipe, there's Surge Shell. All that is nice to get rid of.
Yeah,
but
maybe
the fight is coming down to, like, it's going to be BKB jump in from 9 Pandas with Chrono and Tiny Spells, and that's going to decide the fight, right? I don't feel like the fight's getting decided by you purging buffs off somebody. I feel like it's just you being tanky enough they can't go on you.
Oh, that's his BKB! Oh, Abed's mad.
He's mad, but can't find anybody. Big snipe from Roger. That's a lot of time with a lot of net worth missing for Shopify that they want to use in this window because Nullifier's done for Artor. This is third item Medusa. This is where you want to strike. This is where Roshan is just waiting for you to come and pop him. Alpha will fly, signaling that the time has come to put Aegis onto Storm. I mean, that is also an interesting debate. Do you give it to Storm here, the best Aegis carrier in the game? Do you give it to Medusa and try and go high ground? And if you're going to try and do this forced high ground push with third item Medusa, is the Nullifier the best item to do that? I feel like it's not, right?
I think either way, you actually don't give it to the Medusa. Because I think part of the way that you win fights against this Medusa right now is ignoring her. And killing everybody else and, like, you know, just trying to kite her around in some of these early fights. Later on, she gets, like, too much damage. It's probably too hard to ignore, but...
I genuinely believe Shopify do not win this game late. Like, given the state right now. I genuinely do not believe they can win it late. I think you're just going to get chronoed. You have the Nyx who can remove half of Deuce's mana. That is a huge amount of value, right?
Yeah.
So you only have to really burst her off of a Roger initiation with half mana. There's no real save in the chrono. You're going to be chucking trees into that chrono that are going to be critting you. There's going to be some Skywrath spells.
Yeah.
If the Deuce dies, then can you take that fight after your Shopify? That's scary. I mean, I'm not saying they can't win, but I don't think this is as one-sided an equation as a lot of those other Medusa games have been, especially given the pace. Like, Shopify have not been able to find these mid-game fights. You have an Orchid on crit, by the way. Like, these are aggressive items coming out from the supports. They want to find the engagement right now, and they're just getting dodged. And now it's a question of, okay, when you get dodged on the map like this and you want to fight, you can go high ground. That's one way to force the fight, but do they feel confident enough to do that? And are you getting out-farmed in the meantime? We have not had a gold lead larger than 5K in this entire game, and it's now back to 1K for Shopify.
I mean, Ramsey's about to pick up a very important item. This Faceless Void, when he gets to Heaven's Halberd in this matchup against Dusa, you just sit on the Dusa. You disarm her at first, and then you're bashing her up a whole bunch. Like, even if you can't burst her down, you're still negating so much of her presence in a team fight just by hitting her over and over again. Atari's is going to get bursted here.
That was an aggressive go solo on Fly, who's very tanky here. Maybe just trying to bait out a clump, get a good chrono. Won't find it. That means Arteezy's going to poke the high ground here.
Maybe wait for his team a little bit here. They are pushing in the mid lane, so maybe they'll take that tier 2 next. They still got plenty of time to use this Aegis, so there's no rush, I think, on hitting that high ground just yet.
And look at Arteezy's neutral item. This is pretty interesting. This is not a usual neutral item for a right-click carry.
So
It's
is he trying to use the nullifier farther, or is he just more about pushing people back,
I mean,
or is it
nice
about
for
the
nullifier,
intelligence?
nice for Snake. Intelligence, really nice on this hero. If you push the Void away from you, that's pretty nice in the fight. Kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, I guess there are actually legitimately so many different uses to that item for a Medusa.
I just don't think I've ever seen Psychic Headband.
Yeah.
Technically an Agi carry.
Yep.
Okay. That's a new one for the
He's
book.
got 2,400 HP. I wonder what his mana goes down to when he took it off. Oh, not quite enough by itself, but surely Kiyotaka can finish
Threw a
him.
blood grenade.
The Ochre Seal Totem.
That'll finish the job.
Stomp on his corpse.
Just roll the rock over his body like a steamroller.
I mean, Ice Frog buffed that item to try and get people to use it more
Buffed it.
offensively, and Kiyotaka's like, say no more, fam. I got you.
Give a quick dab to the frog himself. Be on his way.
Radiant's top
I mean,
tower
we've been talking a lot about the late game. I feel like part of the problem for Shopify is the catch has not been there. As
Yeah.
these shells keep pushing out one wave. Ramses has not really been caught this game. One death on Faceless Void. I just got smacked mid.
He's backdoor that
Okay.
mid tower real quick.
Later.
Ogre Seal Totem to get him down to the river, and he can blink out now.
This is your Aegis window. It's just done nothing for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you let Ramses get all the way to Disperser, I mean, even just the diffusal is going to be really bad.
And another halberd for Miro. That's 2 halberds now you're going to have to fight through.
I'm beginning, like, this Dusa
Are you
cannot,
beginning to believe?
this Dusa can't put damage out in these fights.
It's going to be tough. This is your Aegis smoke.
All right, Stone Gaze goes off, vacuum, the two of them together. Just walk away, reset a little bit. They still have the opportunity to hit the Chronosphere. Blink forward, Ravage, hitting all these heroes in the back lines, and the Dusa took no damage. Tossed over into the Dusa,
out of mana.
and who's starting to lay out the damage. Ramses, though, is trying to deal with the Dusa. Already burned through her mana. A couple more hits, and they got her down.
Abed wants out. No bash.
are out. No bash whatsoever. Oh. That was unlucky for Ramses right there. But either way, won the team fight.
Yeah, they're very happy with that exchange. Roger for Arteezy. Nyx for Medusa. Sign me up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And that is the downside of Nullifier in those engagements, right?
Yep.
It's not doing anything for you when you get jumped like this. And early Stone Gaze, I get it because, I mean, Kiyotaka just runs into you. You don't know where Void is. If Void leaps in there and you have Stone Gaze off, you might win that fight. But Ramses, he's patient. He's waiting for his time. Very fast blink from Saberlight to try and salvage it with Ravage. But that's where the damage is done. Like, this is a sick blink from Saberlight.
Yeah, jumps over the
Does not catch the
Chronosphere.
Void.
That was beautiful. Stalled a lot of the damage, but then,
But you have a Dusa illusion in here the whole time as well.
I mean, the Nyx hit really wasn't even that much.
Let's get
Most of
stolen.
the mana had already been burned through by Ramses.
This is the issue with that matchup. Like, they have ways to burn the main. But you have a Dusa illusion in here the whole time as well.
I mean, the Nyx hit really wasn't even that much.
Let's get
Most of
stolen.
the mana had already been burned through by Ramses.
This is the issue with that matchup. Like, they have ways to burn the main. It really is, and that Aegis timing just did nothing for you on Shopify. You did not get a single teamfight win out of it. That's scary because I feel like first Roche, okay, Shopify are very, very confident they're getting first Roche in this game, but second, third, those are fights that 9 Pandas can take. This Tormentor apparently is not one. They struggle to do it.
Well, that allows Shopify to catch up a little bit on the Tormentor timing, because they actually did theirs a little bit late. So that respawn is going to be happening for a while here. Roger's just collecting information. Roger has had this playstyle, and it fits a little bit more naturally when you're playing Nyx Assassin as opposed to, say, the Crystal Maiden that we watched him play. But he's just constantly playing on the enemy side of the map, always getting information about heroes while 9Pandas is dodging fights.
It's part of what they want to do. When you want to go late game, you need vision on the map so your cores can split, push, and farm.
Yeah.
And it leads to little things like this. Like, you find a little crit pickoff, that's 700 gold, but it's also a lot of space on the map. Look at bottom. Ramsey's pushing in this bottom lane the whole time. 9Pandas might get jumped here.
Oh, hit him with the avalanche! Still, though, Abed might be able to survive, gets off his BKB. And thanks to the Ravage, they're going to be able to stall up some heroes here.
There's no Faceless
Another great
Void.
vacuum wall. Without the Faceless Void, they're a little bit limited on the damage, and Kiyotaka knows that. That's why he's trying to get away. Still has that Nullifier on him, is going to be pulled back by Abed.
Ramsey's up here now. Wants to try and turn the fight.
But so many heroes have already died. Ramsey's going to need a beautiful Chronosphere. Gets it on 2, going to be able to kill the support, but doesn't even think about going for the Dusa. Going to start backing away with his BKB, but is he going to be able to time walk out of this one? Goes to the low ground, but there's nowhere to run from.
Just too anxious on the trigger here from 9Pandas. I think they were doing a really nice job of splitting the map, finding the pickoffs, but now they get caught in a team fight versus Shopify without Faceless Void in that engagement. That is not a recipe for success.
And I saw the Shopify players laughing. I'm pretty sure it's because when Kiyotaka got the pickoff earlier on Crit, he tipped Crit. Crit tipped him back. And then they had that team fight, which Shopify obviously won. And Crit, you know, just for doubles down on tipping Kiyotaka, hit him with it a second time.
Gotta play the mental game in the BO3.
Ooh, Saberlight does manage to get that Wisdom Rune away from Roger.
I mean, this Tormentor's still up. You do not want to lose this right now, but you might not have a choice. Mjolnir completed for Artur. He's outputting a lot more damage now. That is Shard for Fly. Little friends.
Kind of whatever, but...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, you saw what Ramsey's typed at the start of this game.
Good luck, Bulba.
Tells you everything you need to know about the feelings between these two teams. Ramsey's playing against his old team.
Yeah.
Roger playing against his old team. Ramsey's, of course.
What?
Tower is under attack.
I was like, Roger? What?
He got kicked from VP way back in the day.
Right. Kiyotaka, he's going to have to make a run for it here with this BKB. Now, the rest of his team is on the high ground here. They might be able to still play for this one. They don't have the Chronosphere, but they do have the vacuum wall, and it catches so many heroes. A really nice impale to follow it up as well. RTZ down to half mana right now. Gets a little bumper there with the chakra,
The
but now the rest of it gets burned out by Roger. Hit him with the assassinate, now he's gone. Now with all the damage, it's just cleanup time.
Destroyed him at the end of that fight. Oh, this is going to be a dieback for Crit as well. That overextension, they didn't even have Chrono.
There it is. Oh, come on, Kiyotaka. You got to tip him.
Give Crit the return message here.
He's going to worry about getting this kill first. And I will be severely disappointed if he doesn't tip Crit again.
Maybe he's out of tips. Been a lot thrown in this game. Shopify is not respecting the group up either, right?
Yeah.
That is not a choke point you want to just run up that hill into when you don't know where Darkseer is, when you don't know where Tiny and Faceless Void are. The clump is insanely punishing here. And yeah, you have BKBs, but you don't have crazy burst damage.
I mean, they were probably just thinking Chronosphere's down, so they don't want to fight, but you give a vacuum like that to Miro.
Into an impale with Dusa Illusion sitting there. Like, RTC tanks it up, but then you still have Vendetta.
Yep.
And bye-bye to your second half. That is the nice part about that matchup. You can just seal his fate very quickly. I feel like this Medusa window's closing.
It does feel like that.
It's going to put a lot more pressure on Abed to try and find these jumps or just scale into that late game storm. Like, I feel like you need the Ags now or something. You need some AoE pull into the
He wants
Ravage.
to go Scythe, which...
Yeah, they're thinking about multiple Scythes here between him and Saberlight.
Yeah, if they could get, stop one of these heroes, either Kiyotaka or Ramses, from getting any action in a team fight, they're going to go for Arteezy. Toss him back in,
Where the
up
hell
high
is he?
in the air, but is going to be burned down pretty damn quickly. Vacuum pull back in. The
alive.
Ravage trying to create some space. Force staff over to the side. Gets off a Manta. Gets off the Chakra. He heals up a bit.
turning.
BKB turning around. Now he's actually got hexed up. He's dead. No way. They actually managed to bail out Arteezy after he was all but dead. I mean, he was left on like 10% mana.
What a hex timing from Abed. The right
Seriously.
time in the right place.
Did he pick that up mid-fight?
He just picked it up right before that engagement. And, I mean, you had a sick Orchid from Crit as well. Just
Oh,
making
they have
sure
a
that
gem
last
for
time
Rogers.
loss.
He's going to find out the hard way.
That is a huge turn for Shopify. Finally getting that counter initiation.
Abed. We'll find him eventually here. Taris.
They're just going to pick up the remainers. And look at the spawn for Roshan.
Oh.
Oh, Kiyotaka, what are you doing? Doing nothing. Getting the hell out. That's going to be a second hex here on Saberlight if he wants to buy out for it after this Roshan. Suddenly a lot of control coming out. I thought they might have issues getting there, but this Chrono initiation just backfires, right? He does not die in that Chrono, and Roger cannot get the stun off before the Clutch Ravage comes through.
I mean, you have to wonder, there surely was something they could have done better there. I mean, probably the Chronosphere not catching the Tiny because he has that Aghanim Scepter would have helped. Could have thrown some more damage inside of the Chrono if he wasn't inside of it
I
already.
mean, I think it's just Roger getting that impale off post-Chrono, but it's hard to Ravage. Like, he can just Ravage at the end of Chrono, and it's very awkward, the timing of which stun goes out first. If you have the damage there. The Dusa tankiness pays off, will give him a second life here on Aegis, which is a huge deal. Especially versus a lineup that relies on Nyx to burn some of that mana. Maybe you do it once, but can you do it twice? And of course, these hexes are going to make Ramsey's life way harder in these engagements.
I don't know, Avery. It's beginning to sound like you're becoming a believer now.
I'll never
In the
believe
Dusa
in the Dusa.
supremacy.
I'll never join the Dusa lovers.
All right, we got some tier 4 items that are going to be coming up as well, so some nice spikes for everybody involved. Yeah, so we got Scythe on the Storm and Scythe on Saberlight. He's going to go Refresher after that. And then Scythe is halfway done for Fly if he wants to. He can afford the Mystic Staff, the most
And
expensive
Crit's go
of the
inside,
items.
so
And Crit.
You know,
So
when you
how
need
do
an
you
item-
initiate?
just build them all. I don't know. You're getting hexed one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, because at some point in time, you're just not going to have enough damage to burst through BKB, jump in and Chronosphere.
That's the big question, right? How much damage can you get done in the jump from 9 Pandas? Because now if you do not get enough done, you are getting turned around on.
Yeah.
And there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, there's no saves on the side of 9 Pandas.
It's very true.
Yeah, like the most you can do is some certain items. Got Glimmer Cape. They're going to straight up Ravage for this kill. Kiyotaka is more than worth it. Make sure he can't escape, and a big pickoff. 90 seconds. A lot of time for Shopify here to
Go down a lane.
rain down some destruction.
He does not have buy, so you can't even really take a buyback fight here. You do have Ags on Roger. You want to burrow and take a high ground defense, just poking them with the spells. Again, you still have to care about the clump here if you're Shopify, but when you have Aegis for 3 minutes on Medusa, that can help you space a bit better. Just put him in the front. Ravage up in a minute 15 here. Timeless Relic as well, so stun duration. Something you're going to have to think about. You have Ags on Darkseer as well, so you can get this punch illusion. If you can land it on Dusa, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, blink in, punch him, halberd him. So you got an illusion. He can't kill his own illusion.
The true one-punch man.
Does a bunch of damage to other Shopify heroes. You hit him with a wall. You got double illusions. I think the one thing, and I've kind of felt this way about the Aghanim Scepter and Nyx Assassin, is that there are certainly a lot of situations where you would have preferred having the old Mana Burn compared to the current Mind Flare when you go Ags, right? Because you're no longer, if you're playing around the Ags, you're probably not Vendetta hitting somebody.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing, he would much rather have Mana Burn in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
You get 2 Mana Burns off on Dusa or Storm. That spell was incredibly powerful, especially for support Nyx. I think Mana Burn was better on support Nyx than Mind Flayer is right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's for sure.
Mind Flayer is a lot better if you're doing the whole Vendetta combo hit.
That's what I'm saying. He could have gone Refresher.
Yeah.
Double Vendetta into Mind Flayer Impale.
It's been a meme in the talent field for a little bit.
You know what I was actually
Nyx.
telling Crit about that the other night.
Yeah.
While we were drinking a bit, and I let us say that, whatever. And
no, you're not allowed to have alcohol.
And he didn't
How
believe
dare you?
He didn't believe me. You might believe it this game, son, if it comes.
Why didn't he? What is there to believe? That it would happen? That it would affect the unit twice?
Under attack.
He didn't believe in the strategy.
Oh, okay.
Double damage on our Tor, minute 20 Aegis.
Kiyotaka coming in from behind gets a very important kill.
He has
Crit
buyback,
instantly
though.
buying back though. Nullifier BKB.
Oh,
he got hit! Immediate orb, get it up
need
now.
to
He's
bail
gonna
him.
be psyched up. Ravage going down. They're throwing everything they have to kill Ramsey,
jump.
but he gets off the time walk. Now he can get off the Chronosphere. Oh,
Dude,
they
you
didn't
have
do
the
enough damage, and now this Chronosphere
trees.
with the trees raining in. It's a problem. It's a big, big problem. Medusa losing out on a bunch of mana. They have all these illusions. They're keeping their distance though, hiding her out as much as possible. They killed two big heroes. Ramsey's going for the crit. Does manage to get him with a dieback there.
RTC TPing out. No cancel.
Deeping away? Okay, they ignored the Medusa a little bit too much, it seems.
They'll get the bigger prize, though, which is a dieback on crit and a one team fight. I mean, sure, you live with Medusa, but that was your Aegis Medusa. He was the one who's supposed to die.
Yep. Kiyotaka, a
kited.
great entrance into that fight, going into the back lines and executing one. But that all would have gone to shit if Ramses had just been popped. They had him disabled for so long. How did they not kill him?
I mean, did they get the chain hex off? That's a big question, right? Here's one hex.
There's one of the hexes being used.
Oh, so he didn't have the second one because he got Stonegaze into silence into hex, but the Ravage chains as well.
Ravage
just lives with Time Walk. Imagine you finish him there.
I like how he doesn't use BKB this entire time. He pops it after he's in the Chronosphere.
It pays off, right?
Yeah.
He's playing for the long fight. You know you have to.
I mean, I think he was playing for being able to hit Chronosphere and use BKB afterwards, but...
Yeah, this game is a game of inches in these jumps.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, now he's got the 20% backtrack. Maybe that was that up before the fight? I don't
know. He was really close.
It was. He was already 25 at that point.
Every little bit.
So, I mean, you take off 20% of damage, that certainly makes a huge difference. I mean, he dropped down to like 500 HP. So now, they also took the Tormentor away from Shopify.
Shard on the Faceless Void. On both the supports now. The Skywrath Mage is not...
One of the Skywrath.
He's not that squishy if he gets all the armor.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with Solar Crest Glimmer. Sange, a tanky Skywrath Mage.
Okay, Kiyotaka has been gunning for a lot of these really aggressive moves. They do manage to get the vacuum impale combo. Oh, that looks so good. Is it enough, though? The Stone Gaze stalled up a lot of these things. Kiyotaka hitting another combo that finishes off that Enchantress.
There's
so many illusions out right now. Somebody save this Medusa. No, trapped inside the Chronosphere. No saving our tour. And that is a hero with no buyback. They have to be able to punish Kiyotaka here. They have to get something out of this. Otherwise, they're trying to defend base without their carry.
How do you punish the 5,000 HP Rock? You can't. He's just too damn tanky.
Kiyotaka, man, he just keeps on jumping in. Highest damage dealt, and I would bet highest damage taken as well on his team. He just keeps on going in for these initiations, and he's so damn tanky.
Probably has highest everything.
Yeah.
Just destroying this game. They don't have enough single target damage on the Hex lockdown to deal with him. Like, do you even want to Hex this Tiny when he goes in? I don't know if it feels good, because I feel like you're not going to kill him. And then you don't have a Hexes for when Ramses goes in. It's almost a very double-edged sword here. And he has the absolute correct read on this game. Like, you go in with Tiny, you create some chaos, create some havoc. It's baiting Shopify into so many good back walls for Miro on the backside of those initiations. I mean, I can't even tell which Deuce illusions are what. There's just Deuce illusions fighting other Deuce illusions, fighting other Deuce illusions that are getting taken over. Then there's a punch.
Yeah, Darkseer creates two of them. and then you've got the Enchantress stealing one of them away.
I swear we had like a Dusa illusion pentagram at the end of that.
Oh yeah, he can steal 2 of them away with the shard, so he can actually grab 2 of them.
My
God. We should mention Roger has been playing phenomenal this game. In this
Oh,
fight.
nice impales for sure.
Yeah, he has gotten so many of these AoE impales in the fight, just going in, putting his life on the line with Carapace, and then staying alive in this burrow, which has been really annoying.
Dire's top
Yeah.
tower is under attack.
And that's just another problem when you have these Heaven's Halberds, and then you also, when you do get a hit off, you're hitting a Spike Carapace Nyx Assassin. I mean, Arteezy just does not get to throw out the damage nearly as much as he would like.
Nope. He is level 25. He has split shot modifiers. With that Mjolnir, with a Mindbreaker Silver Edge,
They
it's
get
a
him on
lot
the
more
low
damage.
ground. If they could be the initiators for once, it could be different. Blink forward, Saberlight, not finding
broken.
anything. He's broken right now. He's going to be forced to use the Ravage soon. If he's not careful, he might just die without it. Throws out the Ravage now. Hates a bunch of heroes, but the rest of Shopify have
They're
already
out.
retreated.
Not the fight they were looking for. I don't know where Saberlight was looking. Like, even if you find someone all the way up there, can your team go through that low ground around the Roche Pit to even connect to you?
No.
I feel like that blink is too far. You have to fight around Medusa right now. That's going to be Roshan going 9 Pandas' way, and that is a refresher shard. Cap.
It's going to happen. They're going to catch crit as well. Kiyotaka, they know that Roshan's free, so they went hunting for more heroes. Yeah,
There it is.
that could be the last laugh there for Kiyotaka.
We're approaching the 55-minute mark. The 55-minute timing. The third Roshan with refresher shard. That's double chrono. Or is it double vendetta? Give it to him.
It's not. It's definitely going
Give it to
double
him.
chrono.
For the Reddit thread. Still
Force
looking
stab
for the
away.
pickoffs.
Another pickoff. I mean, the other side of the map, ain't no Shopify's not contesting that.
I mean,
So
there's a
9 Pandas just go hunting.
third halberd for Antares, by the way. Should note,
Very
Arteezy's
nice.
life is
Nice.
to never hit another hero. And how are you killing Tiny? I'd like to propose this question while we have a brief minute. He has 5,700 HP.
Impressive. Impressive, yeah.
That's a big rock.
I mean, how are you killing him without your Medusa? Because she's pretty much not hitting anything. Get him with the harpoon. Ramsey's tipping his replacement in Saberlight.
He's like, I've been there, my friend. How's it feel right now? Do solutions are tanky. Pretty annoying.
I mean, they've
Try
got
and go for the
Bloodthorn
burst.
with Scythe. That is a lot of damage they can lay out in a very short amount of time. They've got to be able
what
to
a back.
stop this. They almost took down the Aegis, but it's not good enough. Now Ramsey's going to be able to hit that Chronosphere. That's going to be the tide.
Yes, no
Will
pie.
it be the Medusa? The AoE grab? It cannot stop Ramses, who will manage to bring down Arteezy, and that will be
close.
the end of the game.
It's not close. He didn't even need to use Aegis or Refresher Shard.
Yeah.
And the late game was here. Like, this is